हेलो एवरीवन, जय हिंद एंड वेलकम टू द प्लेटफॉर्म ऑफ श्रीराम्स आईएएस। आप सभी का स्वागत है श्रीराम्स आईएएस के प्लेटफॉर्म पर। एंड इन टुडेज सेशन विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट वन ऑफ द प्रोमिनेंट थिंग दैट हैज बीन आस्क्ड बाय लॉट्स ऑफ एस्पिरेंट्स। बहुत बार मैंने पिछले जितने भी आपका जो है आई हैव सेंड द वीडियोस, तो आई गॉट सो मेनी क्वेरीज कि सर आपने बताया बॉडी लैंग्वेज क्या होनी चाहिए, व्हाट नॉट टू आंसर in front of the UPSC interview board, but at the same time एक बहुत ही common चीज है and that is nervousness. So sir, what is that, how can we tackle that nervousness in the UPSC interview? उसके बारे में आज हम बात करेंगे. We'll be talking about how you can handle the nervousness and साथ ही साथ वो nervousness होती क्यों है. Alright, कोई भी चीज है, whenever we are talking about tackling something, so we must know कि why that happens, है ना? जब तक हम आपके root cause पर नहीं जाएंगे, how we will look for the remedies. So all that thing we'll be talking about in today's session in this video lesson, and ultimately we'll be coming to know about how we can tackle the nervousness in the UPSC personality test or your interview. But before moving ahead, why this nervousness matter? तो यहाँ पर मैं आपको बताऊंगा बेटा कि वेदर यू आर और यू विल बी इन फ्यूचर रैंक 1, ठीक है, अगर आप रैंक 1 भी हैं, ठीक है, यू गेट द रैंक 1, और या फिर आप एक एवरेज स्टूडेंट भी हैं, तो दिस नर्वसनेस इज अ यूनिवर्सल ट्रुथ एंड इट इज अ यूनिवर्सल एक्सपीरियंस, ठीक है, एंड नॉट जस्ट इन फ्रंट ऑफ एस्पिरेंट्स. There are certain aspirants also जो candidates होते हैं, not aspirants, but the candidates who are already serving. All right, suppose a person or a candidate got IPS service, but he wants to be an IS. वो दोबारा से बैठा एग्जाम में, he is already serving, but still, if we'll be facing the UPSC board interview, he will be quite nervous as you are. All right, so when we talk about the nervousness, it's universal. So इससे घबराना नहीं है, because even the board expect that. All right, even the board expect that कि there will be a normal nervousness, and that is acceptable and that is understandable by the board itself. All right. So over here, it is very important that when we talk about the panic is avoidable. We can avoid the panic. We should not panic in the interview board. But at the same time, when you are calm, when you are composed, आपका एक proper balanced composure है, that shows the administrative maturity what the board is looking forward for. All right, so what the board actually looks for, what the board actually evaluates you. All right, it is not fluency, how fluent you are answering the question. It is not how, clearly you are answering the questions. But actually, they are looking for the qualities that will determine your fate as an administrative officer. So they are looking for clarity. Can you express your ideas coherently and in a clear and concise manner? वो चीज देख रहे हैं. They are looking for the composure कि आप whenever you are under the pressure, you maintain that balance, you maintain that posture and the composure or not. They are looking for the honesty, because your responses, they have to be truthful, they have to be genuine, and ultimately they look for the balance. That is, can you weigh out the different perspective? मैं हमेशा कहता हूं कि whenever you are writing mains examination or whenever you are appearing in the personality test, the UPSC is actually looking for a balanced perspective. It is not looking for, some person who will be all, all about the government. All right, and not be talking about the different stakeholders. You have to talk about different stakeholders, how anything will, impact different stakeholders. You have to have a very holistic purview of any situation. Till the time you don't have that holistic purview, then ultimately that would be a problem. Okay? And also they are looking for the emotional intelligence, that is how well do you understand the human intelligence and the dynamics of a human being. So all this thing is actually what the board is looking forward. मैं आपको एक बहुत छोटा सा किस्सा सुनाता हूं और उसके बाद आपको समझ में आएगा कि why this all matters. What happened was, there was at during my point of time when I was appearing for the interview. So what happened was, there was an interview in which a candidate entered into the room. और होता ना, room से बाहर एक छोटा सा ऊपर there is a stopper in the door. So ultimately what happened was that he stumbled upon it and he fell down. जैसे वो नीचे गिरा तो obviously he was inside the, मतलब जब गिरा तो he was inside the board जो conference room था जहां पर interview था, board members बैठे हुए थे, and he fell down. बट एक्चुअली ही एकदम से उसको रियलाइज हुआ दैट ही फेल डाउन. नॉर्मली क्या होता है, नॉर्मली ये होता कि इफ यू आर नॉट अंडर अ प्रॉपर कंपोजर, आप काम नहीं है, तो वो हड़बड़ा जाता, ठीक है, पैनिक हो जाता. बट इंस्टेड ऑफ पैनिकिंग ही गॉट अप, देन ही अपने आप को झाड़ा. और उसके बाद द बोर्ड मेंबर दे आस्क्ड, वन ऑफ द बोर्ड मेंबर आस्क्ड कि आर यू ऑलराइट. तो ही was such, he was such composed. He said, yes sir, I am all right, but I just whenever I go and pay my reverence, pay my tribute to my gods or to the Almighty, it is that I always touches the feet and the ground, and that is what I was doing right now. ठीक है, तो अल्टीमेटली इट इज यू एंड हाउ यू हैंडल द सिचुएशन, दैट इज व्हाट मैटर्स इवन इन अ प्रेशर. इफ यू आर हैंडलिंग इट वेल, सो दैट इज हाउ द बोर्ड इज गोइंग टू सी हाउ वेल यू आर. Now, nervousness, like I said, it is what the board expects, and the board knows that you will be nervous, and it is not punished. All right, but when we talk about the board, all right, board does not punish you, or it does not deduct the marks for shaking of your voice, or if you have trembling hands, or the initial stiffness that you have. But at the same time, they only will check you, all right, how you are recovering, your recovery ability. All right, when it comes to the recovery ability, that is, does the candidate settles down after a few moments? All right, when you will enter, you will be nervous. But at the same time, after passing some time, all right, after the first initial 1 or 2 questions, do you settle down or not? And, that is the one thing that they will be checking you for. Your mental clarity as well, because can you think, obviously you will be nervous. So at the same time, being nervous, can you think of, or you can think clearly and you can give your responses clearly? That is what they will be checking you for. Now, where this nervousness comes from? हम क्यों nervous होते हैं? Whenever we enter the interview, all right, whatever interview you are going to attend, so we get nervous. So where this actually nervousness comes from? तो हम बाहर बैठे होते हैं जब वेटिंग रूम में, वेटिंग अरीना में, सो वी आर थिंकिंग ऑफ लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स, एंड अल्टीमेटली वो जो लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स दैट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट और स्पीकिंग इन आवर माइंड एंड थिंकिंग अगेन एंड अगेन, दैट क्रिएट्स दैट नर्वस प्रेशर और नर्वसनेस. और वो हम वहां पर क्या सोच रहे होते हैं? वी हैव दैट फियर ऑफ डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चंस. हम सोच रहे होते हैं कि पता नहीं कुछ ऐसा ना पूछ लिया जाए जो हमने पढ़ा नहीं है या फिर हमें नहीं आता है, तो वी डेवलप दैट एंजाइटी. All right, there is a fear of judgment. All right, we have that fear of judgment कि पता नहीं बोर्ड मेरे बारे में आपका क्या सोचेगा या क्या करेगा. There is fear of evaluation कि there is pressure of being assessed continuously when you are there in the interview, and ultimately जो evaluation का fear है वो उस nervousness को create करता है, and ultimately there is fear of making mistake that if I'll be in front of the board, पता नहीं मैं कुछ गलत ना बोल जाऊं. तो ये सारी चीजें हमारे माइंड में चल रही होती है, and ultimately इसकी वजह से वो nervousness आपका जो है that is the source. These are the sources, and that creates that nervousness in our mind. But at the same time, जब मैंने देखा तो I have seen that this nervousness stems from 3 different types. The first type is the knowledge-based nervousness. Knowledge-based की बात करें तो there are certain preparation gaps और uncertainty about the content, जिसकी वजह से हम nervousness जो है वो आपका होती है. There are certain knowledge gaps, ठीक है, और हम उसकी वजह से आपका nervous हो जाते हैं. At the same time, there is psychological nervousness. There is mental fear patterns. Alright, इसी के साथ साथ self doubt और negative thought जो है वो spiral होते हैं और ये psychological pressure build up कर देता है. That makes us nervous during the time of the interview. And there is physical or behavioral type of the nervousness as well, जहां पर आपका जो है सारी चीजें आपको physically आपको दिखती हैं. There is shaking, alright, there is rapid breathing, और आपका जो ट्रेमलिंग होती है, फिजिटिंग होती है, वो सब आपका जो है फिजिकल या बिहेवियरल पैटर्न ऑफ नर्वसनेस में आपका आता है. एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट नॉलेज बेस्ड, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट साइकोलॉजिकल और फिजिकल और बिहेवियरल टाइप ऑफ द नर्वसनेस, हर एक नर्वसनेस से डील करने का एक अलग तरीका है. ठीक है, वी हैव अ डिफरेंट अप्रोच फॉर एवरी टाइप ऑफ द nervousness that you encounter. सबसे पहले मैं knowledge nervousness की बात करूंगा कि how you can handle the knowledge nervousness. तो मैंने आपको बताया था बेटा, when I have taken the previous sessions, that what happens is that in your interview 70% of your interview will be guided by the DAF or the detailed application form that you have filled. So ultimately अगर मैं बात करूं आपका, तो you have to master your DAF. ठीक है, अगर आप मास्टर करके जा रहे हो अपने डीएफ को, आपने डीएफ को अच्छे से पढ़ा है, थॉरली यू हैव बीन थ्रू, ठीक है, यू नो एवरी डिटेल दैट यू हैव फिल्ड इन योर डिटेल्ड एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म थॉरली एंड कंप्लीटली, तो वो जो नॉलेज बेस्ड नर्वसनेस है वो लोअर डाउन हो जाएगी. एट द सेम टाइम प्रिपेयर योर होम स्टेट. ठीक है, जो आपका होम स्टेट है, आपका होम डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, उसकी ज्योग्राफी क्या है, ठीक है, इसी के साथ साथ कल्चर क्या है, व्हाट आर द इश्यूज, व्हाट आर द डेवलपमेंट्स which were there in the news recently, इसको comprehensively prepare कर लो, क्योंकि there would be questions that would be asked from here, because at the end you will be an administrator. Alright, so ultimately you should know everything about your home state, about your district, and also anticipate the questions. Keep your DEF in front of you and then think about all the different type of questions that could be asked from your DEF. हर एक कॉलम, हर एक चीज को बहुत ध्यान से पढ़ना है, and anticipate the likely questions based on your background, even the current affairs that are there. ठीक है, तो ये चीज आपको समझनी है, and then you have to have a calm revision. Alright, do structured, peaceful revision and do not do any kind of last minute cramming or revision. So the competition will come from your preparation of your DEF. The clarity will be there and not from memorizing everything and rectifying everything. So that you have to understand that you can tackle this knowledge nervousness well. अब फिर आते हम, we talk about the psychological nervousness. ठीक है, psychological nervousness की बात करें तो the board, you have to understand that the board is not there to reject you. The board actually does not want to fail you. They are there to select you. So board is looking for reason to pass you and not to fail you. Alright, तो आपको बोर्ड के बारे में कोई भी नेगेटिव जो आपके अंदर थॉट्स आ रहे हैं उनको नहीं आने देना है, बल्कि यू हैव टू inculcate the positive thoughts, because the board wants you to succeed. The board wants to give you the numbers, give you the marks. So that is what you have to keep in your mind. And ultimately, when we talk about the exam, you have cleared the prelims, you have cleared the mains. So you have cleared one of the toughest exam, hardest written examination, and that is remarkable. So you should have faith on you. That is again very, very important thing that you must keep on your mind. And you were shortlisted. Alright, you were shortlisted because your profile had impressed them, your marks have impressed them. So ultimately you have a profile that is already in front of them. And also the panel consists of the experienced administrators. Alright, they are experienced administrators, they are not adversaries. They want someone who will be there to fill in their shoes. Alright, what they had done when they were the administrator. So they want their progenies. Alright, so ultimately you have to think like an administrator and you do not have any kind of negative thoughts while you are sitting in the waiting arena. Alright, then when we talk about the physical nervousness or behavioral nervousness, alright, the first thing is that slow and deep breaths. Alright, slow and deep breaths, they help you in calming down your nerves. अगर आपको परेशानी हो रही कुछ भी है तो कंट्रोल ब्रीदिंग आप करें, सो दैट योर हार्ट रेट्स दैट कैन रिड्यूस. ठीक है, और हार्ट रेट रिड्यूस होगा तो अल्टीमेटली दैट विल बी रिफ्लेक्टेड थ्रू योर फिजिकल ट्रेट्स. एट द सेम टाइम कीप योर हैंड्स जेंटली क्लैस्प्ड और रेस्टिंग ऑन योर लैप. Alright, so you should have a steady hand, at the same time upright, right posture, relaxed posture, and the pace of your speaking should be controlled. So for tackling the physical nervousness, I had given you, I have told you about the body language. That is very, very important. If you go through that session and you understand the kind of the body language that you need to have, ultimately you will be able to handle and tackle your physical nervousness. Alright, now I'll give you the first 30 seconds rule. Now this is the time where that is the crucial thing, and that will determine the tide of your complete interview. So how you enter into the interview room, into the conference room, that is what it sets the tone for the rest of your interview. So the first and the foremost thing is that walk slowly. When you are walking, you are entering into the room, you are entering the conference room. So at that point of time, you should enter with measured and confident steps. You should not rush, all right? There should be no rushing while you are entering and you are moving towards your wherever you will be sitting. All right. At the same time, there should be a gentle smile, and whenever you are greeting, it should be a warm greet that you should greet with all the board members. All right. Offer a warm, sincere greeting to the panel. Then sit only after the permission. All right. Wait to be invited. Just go and stand beyond the seat that would be there, the chair that will be there. All right. And then wait for, that they will ask you to sit, and then sit calmly and purposefully. All right. And ultimately take 2 seconds to settle. All right. Breathe, then adjust yourself, adjust posture, and then center yourself towards the board members and answer the first question slowly. All right, because when you'll be answering the first question, you'll be setting the pace, you'll be setting the tone for the complete interview. So measured response that will calm both you as well as the room, the board members as well, and ultimately your anxiety will get half instantly when you are in control in these first 30 seconds. All right, so that you must remember. All right, also you should practice 3 seconds pause technique. Now, this is the pause that you need to take whenever you are answering to any question. All right, whenever you are asked a question, you need to answer it, but do not jump instantly. All right, do not start speaking instantly. What you need to do is pause for 2 to 3 seconds. Allow yourself a moment of silence. All right, and when you are allowing this moment of silence, at the same time, your brain must be functioning on the complete structure of your answer that you will be giving. All right, so you have to structure your response mentally and think clearly, and then answer and respond with the proper confidence and clarity. But at the same time, if you'll jump in instantly, so the answer will not be structured. All right, there would be certain things that you will eventually leave from the answers. So it is very important to practice this 3 pause technique, and this simple technique will prevent you from panicking. It will prevent you from rambling and even rushed responses. So this is again a very important technique to manage your nervousness while you are there in the interview. Now, there are certain conditions, or there would be certain moments where you will feel blank. All right, you will feel blank, and honesty is what will earn the respect of the board members. All right, so they will not penalize you for not knowing something. Over here, you can say like this: may I take a moment to think, sir, ma'am? All right, whoever has asked the question, if the board member is a gentleman, you may say, may I take a moment, sir, please, to think. All right, or ma'am, to think, or I am not fully aware of this, but I will certainly learn it. So over here, you are displaying honesty. You are not bluffing. And ultimately, you will not penalize for not knowing, but you will be penalized if you will be bluffing in front of the board. So admitting there is knowledge gap with humility, that demonstrates the maturity and the integrity that the board is looking forward, because maturity and integrity is the integral part of an administrative officer qualities. All right. Now, how you can ground yourself physically? For this, you can you can browse through my session on your, the body language that I have taken. But at the same time, I'm giving you a gist over here that you should keep your feet grounded. Both your feet should be kept flat on the ground, and that will give you stability and even centeredness. At the same time, there should be no legs shaking. That should be there. You have to avoid any nervous movement. No leg shakings. Keep your legs still and composed. And the spine should be straight, but at the same time, relaxed as well. Also, your hands should be clasped gently, or they should be put on your lap. And also keep a gentle eye contact. Maintain natural and warm eye contact with the board member who is asking you question. And I told you that you should not also be staring at the same board member. You should glance periodically to the other board members as well. Also, you can control your breathing. You can start practicing this. All right. You can start practicing this. This is called as 4-4 technique. Now, what is 4-4 technique? That is, you have to count for 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. When you are counting 1, 2, 3, 4 in your head, alright, you are inhaling. Then hold for 2 seconds. 1, 2 and then exhale for 4 seconds. So through this, if you will be practicing this, the breathing pattern, that will lower your heart rate, and ultimately you will feel confident. You will feel instant calm after practicing this breathing technique. Alright, now over here you have to also work on your mindset. If you want to relax yourself, if you want to have calmness before entering into the interview room, you have to understand that you are not defending a thesis. You are not reciting the memorized facts. You are not fighting for an argument. Over here, when you are there in the interview, you are having a professional conversation. You are engaging with senior administrators and even sharing your perspective respectfully. And if you will have this mindset, with this mindset, it will reduce fear and it will transform your entire approach towards the administrative mindset that is required while you are in the interview. So it is that you have to slow down your body and even slow down your mind. Alright, walk slow, but at the same time, it should not be very slow. Alright, the pace should not be very slow. It should be measured as well as deliberate steps that will create composure. You should sit slow, lower yourself into the chair with proper control, and then breathe slow with a deep rhythmic breathing that will calm down your nervous system, and also speak slow with the controlled pace that will demonstrate complete thoughtfulness. So these are the things that you have to keep in your mind to keep yourself away from the nervousness that you were talking about. So over here, I told you about the body language. It is about the gentle nodding that will show that you are interested and you are listening actively to what is being asked. At the same time, there have to be a soft smile with natural warmth that will build the connection. There should be a natural posture that will be, without any kind of artifice, and relaxed shoulders as well as stable voice that will, it will not just be, this will work. It will not work only for the board, but also it will have impact on your inner self, where after a proper body language, you will feel cool, calm, composed and confident while answering any questions. So there are certain mistakes also that you need to keep in mind that you should avoid. That is, you should not rush for the answer, speak too quickly, because ultimately you will leave some parts out of it, and also there would be panic and reduced clarity that would be shown in front of the board. You should not guess widely or make up the answer in front of the board. That is again a mistake that we do, because that damages the credibility. And admit wherever you do not know any answers. Alright, do not interrupt the board. Wait for the questions to be completed by the board member and then only speak. And speak after taking that 3 pause technique. Alright, do not fidget. Do not play with any pen. Do not play with your clothes. Do not play with your hands. That is again important. And do not avoid the eye contact. Always maintain the eye contact, because that shows that you are disciplined, that shows that you are respectful, and that shows that you have the intent. You are completely confident, and also you have that administrative capability. Alright, so that is very, very important. Never avoid eye contact, because that shows, if you are avoiding the eye contact, that shows that you want to run away. Evasiveness or the fear and long rambling explanations also that you have to avoid. Excessive talking, that reveals again nervousness. So you have to keep this mind that these are the mistakes that you have to avoid while you are there in front of the interview board. Now sometimes what happens is that even if we keep all these things in mind, sometimes we slip. Sometimes what happens, we speak too fast, we stumble or feel momentarily panic inside. So what should you do if you feel like this? Or the first thing is that you have to pause deliberately. Stop speaking and take a brief moment. And then again, take a deep breath, reset your nervous system with one calm breath, and then deliver the composed answer. Give you the complete response, will have complete structure and even calmness. One mistake that will not determine your interview. Alright, one mistake will not define your interview. And even if you commit single mistake, so even if your complete interview is going in the right direction, the board may not penalize you. So that you have to understand that one mistake doesn't define your complete interview, but at the same time, when you are in the interview, we feel like that, oh my God, I did this mistake. So at that point of time, always keep this in your mind that this is a single mistake that I've committed, and ultimately one mistake, that is all that I am allowed to make. All right. So that is again important. Another thing is that you have to master your opening questions. All right. The first 2-3 questions that you will answer, that will set the complete tone and pace of your interview, or the kind of the questions that the board members will be asking from you. All right. So over here, you have to understand that you have to keep it short, concise responses that will show the clarity of thought. You have to stay clear. You have to eliminate any kind of ambiguity, and also you have to answer directly. You have to project your confidence through steady voice and deliberate pace between your words, and structure your responses in a logical flow that will impress the evaluators. That's all you need to think about. All right, now how can we master these opening questions? What will be the opening questions? The opening questions are generally about you. All right, so whatever you have mentioned in the DEF, I told you, if you will prepare the DEF, if you will prepare, or you will prepare the questions that could be asked from the DEF, you have mastered your opening questions very well. So that is what you need to think about while preparing for the interview in the UPSC. Now, what the chairman will be thinking. All right, when you are there in the interview, there would be a board chairman that will be there. So what he will be, seeing. So whenever you show nervousness, I told you that is not a negative trait. Everybody is nervous. All right, the board member, they will face, or they will be seeing you on 3 important questions. Please remember these things, that they will be judging. Whenever you are nervous, they will be judging you on these 3 different questions. Are you serious? All right, that is, are you authentic? If you are authentic, if you are genuine, that will matter more than the perfection. Then they will be saying, are you being honest? Because integrity is being tested when you are there under the pressure. And again, that reveals your character, whether you are suitable for the administrative job or not. And can you function under the stress? Because again, when it comes to the leadership potential, a leader is who maintains his composure even under severe stress. So that is what all will be seeing over here. And if the answer to these 3 questions is yes, you are guaranteed high marks. All right. So nervousness is actually a secret advantage. All right. So we think that nervousness is something that we will be penalized for, but actually it is the secret advantage. A mild nervousness is always there, and it's signal of your depth and even the professionalism. All right. It demonstrates sincerity. It demonstrates that you are serious. It shows respect and reveals the emotional intelligence as well. All right. Even the experienced officers, I told you that they feel nervous when they are there. So what truly matters to the board over here? Now, confidence, you will think that confidence, no, it is overrated. So the evaluators, they prioritize the balanced mind, that you are able to see multiple perspective and you do not lose your focus. So that is what they are seeing. All right, they see that you have a calm temperament when you are challenged, or when you are uncertain, or when you are under pressure. All right, they also see your honest acknowledgement. If you do not know the answer, if you do not know about the subject matter, you come straight forward and you say, sorry sir, I don't know about it. So your honesty, or admitting the gaps in the knowledge, that will show integrity and your self-awareness that they will be thinking for, and a structured thinking. All right, that is, a clarity of thought. Clear mental framework is what the board is actually looking forward for. And also, see the emotional control. That is how you are able to manage your anxiety without suppressing the authenticity. So all these things are seen by the board before the confidence as well. So they are far more important in your interview than the confidence. So that you have to remember. Now you can conquer that nervousness. Initially, the question that was there, how can you handle or tackle that nervousness when you are going inside the interview room or the conference room where your interview will be taken by the board members, you can conquer the nervousness by preparing your DF throughoutly, alright, and controlling your body language, slowing your breath, as well as using thoughtful pauses and accepting your anxiety and treating it as a conversation. And if you will master these techniques, I'm sure that your score in the personality test will rise above 180. So that would be all. But before going, let me tell you that at SRIRAM's IAS, we are offering you with the interview guidance. And for this, you can register with us. For registering, you need to call us on 9811-489-560. Let me repeat the number, 9811-489-560, or alternatively, you can scan the QR and also register for the interview guidance program at SRIRAM's IAS. So that would be all. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care and Jai Hind. I'll see you in the next video where I'll be guiding you through another set of the questions that I will receive from your end. And if you are facing any kind of issues, if you have any doubt regarding the interview, you can write down in the comment section and I will surely be in front of you and handling out your doubts, queries relating to the interview. So that would be all. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Jai Hind. Thank you.